Very soon, we will replace the retiring A-10 Warthogs with 21 brand-new F-15EX Eagle II fighter jets, the best in the world, fresh off the line.
Fulfilling a promise and getting a new mission, President Trump cements the future for Selfridge Air National Guard Base.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Here at 7:31, the new fighter mission comes after years of Michigan politicians fighting to keep this base open.
The base will be getting 21 new F-15EX Eagle II fighter jets, replacing the retiring A-10 Warthogs. This conversation really picked up after Governor Gretchen Whitmer made a visit to the Oval Office last month to discuss keeping the base open.
And with the fighter mission secured, the focus on the base now shifts to preparing for those jets' arrival, which is likely sometime in 2028.
That's right. Joining us this morning to talk about the new mission and what it means for the base, Major General Paul Rogers. He is the Adjutant General for the Michigan National Guard, also Director of the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. First of all, you must be pretty excited today.
Yeah, good morning, Rhonda and Nick. Yeah, we're very excited. This is a great way to start a day. Very excited for the future of Selfridge and very excited for the residents of Michigan.
Major Rogers, we talked to the Macomb County Executive, Mark Hackle, about the collaborative effort, across the aisle effort, but it was your assignment to really take the lead here. Can you talk to us about the years of work that it took and what you think tipped it over the iceberg?
Yeah, so this has been an ongoing, I guess, struggle with the Air Force. Their program of record, as they call it, was to eliminate fighters at Selfridge. We discovered that about 5 years ago, and ever since then have started to advocate and lobby for Selfridge and the critical capabilities there and the amazing men and women who serve there. So it was really the motivation to support those men and women that drove a long multi-year effort. What ultimately, I think, took it over the finish line was the governor's willingness to travel to Washington, sit down with the president, and have a discussion about Selfridge and how important it is. And it was those two individuals working in a bipartisan fashion to close a deal that's good for the nation, good for the Air Force, and good for Michigan. So that's really what took it over the finish line.
I know you have been working on several selling points on why Selfridge was the best place to put the new fighting mission, between the economic impact, the geographic location, the people that you already have trained. Do you think there was one of those points that the Trump administration and the president really took a hold of?
I'm not sure if it's any single one that drove the final decision. I think the strength of the argument, the importance of Selfridge, our geographic location, as you mentioned, and just the legacy over 100 years of fighter capabilities here, to include the Tuskegee Airmen. Selfridge is named for the first Army aviator who died with developmental efforts with the Wright brothers in exploring aviation at the early years. So I think it's really just a legacy of service from Michigan, the patriotism of Michigan, combined with the critical capabilities that Selfridge represents.
I'm glad you brought up that history. I was sharing with Nick, my grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman, and we spent a lot of time when I was growing up on Selfridge Air National Guard Base. There is so much history there. You talk about the men and women that work there, that make their living there, and this could bring even more people to our region.
It can. I think it's a combined effort. So the fighter squadron itself is about the same size as the fighter squadron for the A-10s. So that's commensurate in size, but that combined with the KC-46 announcement last year, which replaces 8 KC-135s with 12 KC-46s, that's an increase. So combined, we anticipate seeing an increased presence for our units at Selfridge. So there will be growth in jobs. We're going to have to be working closely with the Air Force going forward to understand exactly, that manpower capability and requirements. But we're very excited, and yeah, thank you for your grandfather's service.
Oh, well, thank you for your service as well.
So what's next? Do you need more hangars, more mechanics, longer runways? Like, how do you prepare for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, the infrastructure investment is going to be significant. We're estimating it could be in excess of $500 million.
Wow.
And that includes new hangars. Right now, we're building a new hangar for advanced generation aircraft. And now that will be specifically tailored for the F-15EX. So there will be some additional modifications to that hangar. We then also need new hangars for the KC-46. It's a much larger aircraft than the KC-135. So we'll need new hangars. Then we'll need a new pilot simulation training center for the fighters. So there will be new capabilities built out there. And then enhancing the runway and all the instrumentation around a new runway. So there's going to be significant investment over the next 10 years. And again, I think a modest estimate is close to 500, if not a little bit more than $500 million. So Michigan and Selfridge is going to benefit, and all the construction jobs associated with work like that.
I know we're running out of time, but I do have one more question for you. In terms of the pilots, do they have to go through a whole brand new training system? Because I'm sure the A-10s are much different than those the F-15EXs, or do you get different pilots now?
Well, I think it'll be a combination of new personnel and existing personnel. But the existing personnel will have to become, reclassified on this new aircraft to include the maintenance workers. So maintenance, weapons people, everybody will have to go through a retraining, reclassification for this new weapon system. It's very exciting for the men and women who serve there. They get to see the next aircraft in the history and get to build on the legacy of Selfridge. So it's very exciting, and they'll be going through probably about a 1 to 2 year process to get reclassified on that new aircraft.
Well, hopefully there's media ride-alongs on the new F-15s.
Look at you. Look at you. Very exciting, extremely proud time for our state, and a big thank you to the years of work that you put into this to help us get to the finish line. Congratulations.
Thank you. Nick and Rhonda, I'm going to put you on the list for a ride-along right behind me.
All right.
All right.
Let's
Thank you. Major General, thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate you.
Wow, what an
Thank you.
exciting
Have a
time.
great day.
Yeah.